Welcome to the Jill on Money podcast. It is Wednesday, October 6th, and we are here to try to help you make great financial decisions, or at least stop making bad ones. It was so funny. I was just on this other podcast. Did I tell you about this, Mark? This Roy's Job Fair podcast? I don't know when it's going live, but they interviewed me. It was a lot of fun. And they were making fun of me because they said, oh, you got to write the book about not the dumb things smart people do, but the smart things dumb people do. And I was like, you know what? Most people actually are pretty smart about their money. They usually know when they're veering off track, but they don't know how to stop their emotions from kind of deterring them. We are delighted to answer your financial questions. All you need to do is go to our website, jillonmoney.com, jillonmoney.com. Click on the contact button and we'll get your note and we'll write back, or maybe we'll read your email on the air. But even better, if you're willing to come on the air live with us, it's just so much more fun in general for us, but also I think you're going to have a better experience, and listeners, they want to hear your voices. So why don't you do it? So just let us know if you're willing to come on the air. Executive producer Mark Talercia will do all the rest because he does everything. Today, we are joined from another Mark. It's Mark, who is on the line from Virginia. Hello, Mark. What can we do for you today?
Hi, Jill. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate everything that you and Mark do. Love the podcast. My main question is what to do with some extra money that I'm going to have coming in. I did a refinance on my mortgage.
Great.
So that rate is now 2.875%. So that'll give me about $200 extra a month. I also finally stopped being lazy and I fixed my federal withholding on my paycheck. So that'll give I know. That'll give me about $300 a month extra as well.
Wow. This is a big change. That's
it
great.
is. I know. I was getting the hefty refund, and every year I would know I should do it, and I finally did it this year.
Oh, good for you. Well done. Okay, so first couple of questions. Mark, how old are you?
So I'm 54.
Are you single, partnered? What's your situation?
I'm single.
Okay, not with that extra $500 a month. You're not going to be. I'm just kidding. You said you refied your place. What is the outstanding mortgage?
$270 is about what I owe, and it's a crazy housing market where I live, and I think they're about $500 right now.
Wow. Is it a single family? Is it a condo? What are you in?
It's a townhome.
Townhome. Okay, and you love it. You're staying there?
I'm staying there for the near future for sure.
What else can you tell us about yourself? For example, how much money do you make?
So I make about 138.
401k contribution, how much do you put in?
So I max that out, including the catch-up contribution because I'm over 50.
Mm-hmm. The only good thing about being above 50, I will tell you, is that catch-up contribution. See, ladies and gentlemen, all is not lost. You turn 50, you might feel a little bit down in the dumps, and then you find out, wait a second, I can put an extra $6,500 into my 401k or my 403b. Yes, you can. So you're putting in $26,000 of your 138. That's great. How much money has accumulated in your 401k so far?
So in that is about $453,000.
Great.
Most of that is pre-tax. My company did start offering a Roth 401k option last year. Mm-hmm. So right now I've got it split 50-50.
Okay. The Roth 401k probably only has like whatever, 10 grand or whatever in there?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And what about other assets that you have that you've accumulated? Tell me about that.
Okay. I do get a pension at work.
Ooh, you are so eligible. Dude's got $500,000 and he's got a 2.875% mortgage and a pension. I mean, really, if you want a spouse, you will find one very quickly. Okay, tell us about the pension.
So it has a cash value of about $100,000 right now. Mm-hmm. They put 6% of my salary into the pension fund, so it'll be an annuity whenever I retire.
Okay, that's great. What about non-retirement stuff? Anything else floating around out there?
Yeah, so I've got a Roth IRA that has about $10,000 in it right now. Mm-hmm. I do have a traditional IRA, but I just actually converted that $3,000 into the Roth. So that
Okay.
Roth 10,000 includes that amount.
Okay.
And then I have a brokerage account. These are all at Vanguard of about 21,000.
Is that like a fun money account?
It is more for retirement if I need to, flexibility kind of options.
Like that's just like an extra pot of money. In other words, it's not like you're not telling me that you're trading stocks actively. In other words, this is really more of a supplemental retirement.
Correct.
Okay, got it. How about emergency reserves? What do you have?
Well, so I also have one more account. So I've got an HSA at work.
Oh, good.
I am maxing that out, and I'm trying not to tap the HSA money. So I am putting away an extra $200 a month into an account that I use to actually pay for my health care.
Okay, good. Like, in other words, you're sort of setting up this little slush fund to pay for the deductibles, et cetera, so that you don't have to pull the money out of the HSA. That way, the HSA is preserved as you get older when you might have more costly stuff going on, right?
Right.
Okay, perfect. How much is in the HSA now?
That has, I want to say, about 16,000.
Okay, so brokerage, HSA, emergency reserve.
It's only 5,000, so it is underfunded
How
for sure.
funny. That's so weird. That's like a weird thing to me that like you have everything else is like neat and buckled up. Okay. Any other debt besides the mortgage?
I do have a car loan.
Mm-hmm.
That I think is like 4.375%.
This car loan, what is the outstanding balance on the car loan?
20,000 or so.
Okay. One more question before I bug you too much. The brokerage account, is everything in that brokerage account, does everything have a big gain embedded in it?
I'd have to look. So it's split between the Vanguard Total Stock Market and a high yield tax exempt fund. I don't think the tax exempt bond fund has too much of a gain.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what the gain is on my stock market, the other mutual fund.
Don't hurt me for giving you this advice, but here's what I'm going to tell you to do. I love that you have this $500 a month. It's fantastic. So the first thing that I would do is I would probably, I don't know, Mark, you're going to have to make a decision about whether you agree with this or not. I would blow out of the brokerage account as long as there's not too much in taxes due. And I would use the money that's in the brokerage account. I would just whack down half of the car loan and I put the other half in my emergency reserve fund. And then I would essentially take the $500 a month and make sure that my emergency reserve fund gets built up and then finish off the car loan. And when that's all good and, settled, then you can take the $500 a month and repopulate the brokerage account. The reason is that I just think that at this point, you're very well invested almost everywhere, but there's like these little picayune things that are like annoying to me. 4.375% is just, it's a pretty high number for a car loan. So I'd like to get rid of that car loan. And you, as you mentioned, you are underfunded on your emergency reserve. I mean, what are your expenses every month?
I'd probably say about 6,000 a month.
Yeah, so I mean, let's do the math. 6,000 times 6 months. That's what you need in your emergency reserve fund.
Okay.
Just like that. Easy peasy. I mean, I don't think you're getting fired. It sounds like you've got a good job and you've solid and you got a pension and all that stuff. But that emergency reserve fund is low, and I want 10 grand in there fast. Actually, I could almost make the case to keep all the money in the emergency reserve fund, except that 4.375% is a very high interest rate. And I'd like to get that paid down. So that's why I think we can do it halvesies.
I had not thought about getting that car paid off quicker, but I do like that idea. Okay, I'm going to throw a little wrinkle.
Do it.
So I am also coming up to the point where I max out my 401k. So I have basically $2,500 or $3,000, depending upon how taxes play out from November, December, where there's no 401k contributions going in. So there's extra money there as well to hit to the car loan.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you're really freaked out about the emergency reserve, you can sell the brokerage account out and put all the money in the emergency reserve fund and hold it there. This brokerage account is not actually as important to me as the funding the emergency reserve fund and paying off the car loan. I cannot find you a 4.375% guaranteed rate of return. And that's what you're talking about when you pay down that car loan. It's an after-tax rate of return of 4.375% guaranteed, no risk. That to me is a very, very wise decision. And when you have the extra money, all you need to know is your two pieces here are the emergency reserve fund, the car loan. Those get paid off, and it may happen by the end of this year for all we know. Then as soon as that's done, just start redirecting the money that's available into the brokerage account. Don't do it in a high yield fund. Definitely don't. You can go into a total stock market and maybe an intermediate term bond fund, splitting that in half. Just a little liquidity, a little bit boring of an investment structure. But that's it. That's all I would do. All this cash flow, depending on when the money comes in and what's going on, it just goes to those basic needs of emergency reserve fund, the car loan, and then the brokerage account. And you can do them concurrently. I mean, the emergency and the car loan, but the brokerage is really your, yes, of course, I'd like to get that built up again. It will get built up again because you're going to have that $500 a month that's going to go in there. It's going to be very easy to get that clicking along.
Great. That makes a lot of sense to me. Thank you so much.
Okay, now, last thing. I know you're a single eligible man. However, do you have your estate planning done? Do you have someone who is like, you're in your 50s, so, is there some documentation of what you want to happen, et cetera?
Yes, because it was a benefit through work. I have my will and advance
great.
and all of that.
Fantastic. Anything else that we can help you out with, Mark from Virginia?
That was everything. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. And good luck to you. Emergency reserve, car debt pay down. All right. If you would like a tiny bit of direction, Mark's in such good shape, and so many of you are in good shape. You don't have to be in such good shape to give us a call, but you can hear the stories that people are making money. That Mark's making a good living. He's not making $1 million a year. Look at all the money he's accumulated just by sticking to a game plan, just by putting money away early on, little bit at a time, retirement. It works. It just works. So if you would like some help either getting on track, getting back on track, trying to make your next best financial decision, give us a holler. Our website is jillonmoney.com. Just click the contact button. While you're there, you can read our columns, you can listen to older shows, you can watch TV segments, and Mark's got a fantastic resource section. So do that, check it out, sign up for our free weekly newsletter. Mark does that every Friday. And let us know if there's something we can do to help you out. And we would like to help you out, but we're also going to ask a favor. If you wouldn't mind, could you give us a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts? That would be so great. We would really appreciate it. Please try to do something nice for someone else today. And remember the mantra, grit, growth, grace. A little gratitude won't hurt either. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.